Hello and welcome back to the Cracking Fan YouTube channel. Today we're solving Leetcode problem number 7, reverse integer. Given a signed 32-bit integer x, return x with its digits reversed. If reversing x causes the value to go outside of the signed 32-bit integer range, then return 0. Okay, so we have an example 1, 2, 3. Obviously, really straightforward. Reverse it 3, 2, 1. If we have 1, 2, 0, then reversing this would be 0, 2, 1, but obviously we don't write digits with leading zeros, so it just becomes 21. So really straightforward. Obviously anyone can reverse an integer, it's just flip the digits backwards. How you actually do this in code is the more complicated bit. Now, obviously what you could do is just transform your string, your value into a string. So if we had 1, 2, 3, you could just make it into a string, 1, 2, 3, and then just reverse the string. That would give you 3, 2, 1. Obviously that works, but it kind of misses the point of this question, which is to do it mathematically. Now, what do I mean by mathematically? Well, if we have a number like 1, 2, 3, how do we actually reverse it? How do we actually get the last position here, because we need to reverse it? So the way that we do this is we need to get basically the digit on the right each time and then kind of reverse it stepwise. But how do we actually get this digit? Because x is an integer, we can't just index it, right? The way that we could with a string. The way that we do this is actually by using math. So if we do a number modulo 10, it will actually give us the rightmost digit here. So if we do 1, 2, 3 modulo 10, we'll actually get 3. Great. But now we need to continue, right? And we can't just keep doing modulo 10 because we'll keep getting 3. We need to actually do the 12-bit. Well, the way that we can do this is we can actually do 1, 2, 3 modulo, integer divide by 10. Obviously this is 12.3, but because it's integer division, this just gets truncated down to 12. So we can actually get rid of that last digit. Now we can repeat the process. In order to get the 2 that we need, we can simply repeat the process and do 12 modulo 10. This will return us 2. And then to get the kind of next number, we'll do 12 integer divided by 10. Obviously this is just going to go down to 1 because it's 1.2. We get rid of that decimal and it becomes 1. Then we do 1 modulo 10, this is equal to 1, and then 1 integer divided by 10 is actually going to equal to 0. And once we hit 0, we're done because we can't go any further. You can keep trying to modulo and integer divide, but you'll always just end up at 0. So that is actually when you're done. So that's the approach that we want to take. We basically just want to keep modulo, taking the modulo of 10 of our number to get the rightmost digit of our current number that we're working with. We're going to integer divide by 10 each time to get rid of a decimal place and go until the number is 0. And the reason that we do this is because we use this quite often in other problems. So it's really good to know this kind of math trick, and it lays the foundation for other problems that we're going to see in the future. So let's actually code this up. The first thing that we want to do is actually work with a number that's not negative. Obviously, we can't get this to work correctly if we have negatives. We just want to figure out if it's negative, make note of that, and then what we're going to do is actually work with a positive number because it's just easier. So we're going to say is negative is going to equal to whether x is less than 0. Now we're going to say that x is actually the absolute value of x because, like I said, we don't want to work with negatives. We just want to work with positives, and we now know whether it was negative at the start, so we can apply that negative at the end later. Then we need a result. This is going to be 0 in the beginning, and we now need to basically start reducing our x so we can parse out the digits. So we're going to say while x, so basically while x is greater than 0, we're going to say that the current digit that we're parsing is going to equal to x modulo 10, and that now the next digit, we're just going to integer divide by 10. And this is just some syntactic sugar for integer divide and also set x equal to whatever the result of that is. So this will update x. And now we need to actually create our result here. So result is going to equal to the previous result times 10 plus the digit. And just to recap why we do plus 10. So say we have 1, 2, 3. Obviously we need to do 312, right? So when we parse the 3, we can't just put 3 in here, right? We need to do, this is equal to what? This is 3 in the beginning, but then when we parse the 2, that should become 32, right? So we need to do 3 times 10. So this is going to be 30 plus 2. So now we get 32. Then when we parse the 1, it needs to be 321, not 32 plus 1. So we need to multiply this by 10. We get 320. Then we add our 1. And that's how we get our 321 in the end. So every time we multiply by 10, because obviously we are now going 1 digit higher, so we need to multiply everything by 10. Okay, so that is our result. Now what we need to do is actually check whether or not this is going to overflow, because remember, when you reverse, you can actually end up with an overflow. If we overflow, then we simply just return 0. So we're going to say if res is actually greater than 2 to the 31 minus 1, so that's our 32-bit integer kind of cutoff point on the positive side, then we just return 0. Otherwise, we keep going until x is 0, and we have basically reversed the integer, at which point we can simply just return our result. But remember, we need to use the negative here, so we're going to return res times minus 1 if is negative. Otherwise, we're just going to return the result, because we don't need to multiply it by -1. So let's just run this real quick, make sure I didn't make any silly bugs, and we look good. Let's submit this, and I think it was accepted. Yeah, accepted. Cool. So what is the time and space complexity here? So for the time complexity, what we're doing here is actually dividing our number by 10 every time. And what this means is that we're basically reducing the problem space by a factor of 10 each time. So because we do that, it's actually going to be log base 10 of x is going to be, or of n, whatever the number is the time complexity, because we basically reduce the space by 10 every time. So we can think of this as a log base 10 of, so log base 10 of x. So similar in a binary search, every time we cut the search space in half, which means that our time complexity is log base 2 of x. In this case, we're cutting the problem space down by 10 every time. So it's actually log base 10 of x is our time complexity. Space complexity, we don't have any extra variables other than a pointer of our variables here. And these just store integers. So it's going to be big O of 1. So that is how you solve reverse integer. Relatively straightforward problem to look at, but obviously this math bit, if you've never seen it before, it can be a little bit tricky, but hopefully this kind of explains the logic behind it, how it works, where you always take the modulo to get the rightmost digit, and then you take the integer divide to actually get the remainder. This is used very frequently, and also this pattern of kind of multiplying by 10 and adding the current digit in is also used very frequently, so it's a good thing to know. It's cheating to basically just transform it to a string and reverse that string. Knowing this pattern is generally what you want to do here. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something new today. If you did, why not leave a like and a comment? It really helps me with the channel. Subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next one.